Johanna Luna here with Spotlight Radio. We're here live in location at the South of Music Festival. Right here. Joining me here is Juno Award winner Alex Cuba. ¿Cómo estás, Alex?
Muy bien. I'm doing great. Happy to be here.
That's fantastic. So tell me a little more about your journey. How did you start in the music industry?
Um, music's been my whole life. I started early. My father was my teacher. Guitar teacher, music teacher, and I remember from I don't know when I was like 6 years old, starting to play guitar, and then from there everything has been music in my life. I don't think I ever made the decision to be a musician. It just happened on its own. Life made it for me. So.
Alex, tell me, when did you first initially realize this was for you?
I think it was when I first wrote a song or something. I was like 16 years old, and I wrote a song, and it felt amazing. It felt like I did something, and then from there, I think that was the point of no return for me. Yeah, around there, around 16, 17.
Alex, tell me a little more about your style. How would you describe it?
I have, being born and raised in Cuba, we are exposed to a lot of different kinds of music. And as you know, music in Cuba is a big thing. We enjoy a world, you know, wide sort of fame as musicians. And so to put what I do into simple line is not as simple as it sounds. So I do a bit of everything. I think we came close one time to sort of name it properly. Some sort of Cuban soul rock, jazzy, all of that into one thing. And also the diversity of what I do. I think it has to do with the fact that I was a musician for a long time before I became a singer-songwriter. So I am capable, of doing many different kinds of music. But if we wanna sort of nail it down to something, I would venture into saying Q and soul rock. Yeah.
Qué buenísimo. Cuéntame, looking back on your journey as a musician, what were the challenges you faced?
Well, that is always challenges. It's like life doesn't stop evolving, and in that very process of evolving, that is always challenges, and I take them as opportunities, for you to grow, for you to do something new. Um, but I can tell you about the challenges at the beginning of my life here in Canada, because I moved here about 16 years ago, and of course the language was always a little bit of a challenge, in order to not so much from the stage, but or not so much from the music component of my career, but also from the communication sort of. It was tough to talk to people at the beginning from the stage and sort of feel comfortable. But I always had a feeling that music speaks volumes. If you're doing something from the soul, from your heart, people get it. And I always believed in the power of music, and that's what carried me through. And I kept believing in it, and I still to this day believe in it. Now I'm way more comfortable, of course, speaking the language and understanding the culture, which is very different than where I come from, obviously, but not necessarily better or worse. I hate comparing, people like that. That is um, something for everyone everywhere, and something for everyone to learn everywhere. We all have a piece of one big picture. So yeah, that's pretty much I think the challenge. And then of course dealing with the industry. I've been an independent musician since I started in Canada, and the industry has their ups and downs, and is no better today necessarily. Sorry to say. People are not buying music. People are not. But it's not a reason for us musicians, creators, to stop doing what we're doing. So I take challenges really well.
Alex, cuéntame, looking back in your career, who did you used to look up to?
Many people. I come from a heavy jazz background as well. Because I was playing jazz in Cuba for a number of years before I moved to Canada. So all of the great Americans, American bass players and jazz geniuses. We all know who they are. They're great classics, and yeah, it's huge. I think the list would be a little too long for me to name them all. But yeah.
Beautiful. Tell me, if you had to pick, right? And you had to be either in the stage or in the studio, what would you prefer?
Oh, that's tough though. That's very tough. Yeah. But if being on stage means not being an original musician, then I pick the studio. If you know what I mean.
Why is that? Can you elaborate a little
Because
more?
on stage, anybody can go on stage. Anybody can go on stage. You can go on stage to do a trivia band to, I don't know, the Beatles or you name it. But most people go to the studio to be original, and that's what I will pick, I guess. Yeah.
Alex, one last question for our audience here. If you had to give one piece of advice to an aspiring musician out there, or someone perhaps about Latino out there, what would you give?
Yes, the first, I could say many things, but I think the most important one is because how inundated we are these days with, I don't know, with everything we see on the internet, everything we see everywhere. It, it's, many people, including me, from time to time we feel distracted, and it's hard to sort of concentrate on something. The most important thing, if you want to be a musician, if you want to make a living out of music, is that's your thing, and you of course have the talent to do it. um, I think make sure that you're doing it for reasons inside your heart, not only because you want to be famous, because fame is very, I don't know, it's really hard to pinpoint and to put into one thing and say what fame is. We look up to many artists that are famous today, and we all assume that they are, I don't know, rich, happy, successful, but it's not necessarily that. It is way more than just what we see. So make sure, but what will make these artists, that we all see as famous today, sort of keep going and keep happy with their lives, is the reasons why they do it. If they did it because they wanted to be famous, and then they got famous, in many cases I've seen that their career goes down the drain because they discover once they're there that it wasn't what they were expecting. But if they do it because they are musicians, they need to express what they feel. They keep music coming to them. They have the flow, they have the challenge. Then nothing could bring that down. So make sure you are doing it because you want to develop your talent and hopefully get famous, because sometimes fame means getting lots of work and being everywhere, and making lots of people happy.
Beautiful. It has to come from straight from the corazón, right?
Yes, straight from your corazon.
Muy amable. Gracias, eh?
Gracias a ti.
Thank you so much.
Hello, my name is Alex Cuba, and you're listening to Spotlight Radio with Johanna Luna.